Nostalgia is hot these days, whether it's in movies, media, design, even technology, but rarely do we see it in the automotive world. Well, for 2024 only, Nissan is dialing the clock back to 1985 with this special hardbody edition of the Frontier. All week I've been getting compliments on these heritage-style 17-inch rims, which you would have seen on the Nissan Hardbody, but also things like the 80's and early 90's Pathfinders. Today we're going to be going over everything you need to know about the 2024 Nissan Frontier Hardbody Edition, why you might want to be considering this as it's the only year that they're making this edition, and everything else you need to know about this generation of mid-size pickup truck. So let's get started. Now, our truck comes as tested at about $52,000 Canadian, or about $46,000 in the US. I don't think it's as good of a deal in the US, but our viewers down there will have to let us know. This uses a 3.8 liter direct injection V6 engine producing 310 horsepower, 281 pound-feet of torque, with a 9-speed automatic transmission, which can tow up to 6,220 pounds, as well as this having the 6-foot bed and then the 4-wheel drive system. Now, there are a number of other things that you get with the Hardbody Edition, not just the cool rims. We also have the aluminum skid plate up front, black over fenders, black side rail, and the bed-mounted sport bar, which looks really cool. In fact, you'll see some shots of what the original Hardbody was launched back in 1985 looking like, and that's the idea of this. It's meant to look kind of like that. We also have the black painted bumpers, mirrors, and door handles, as well as the front grille. We have a couple decals on the vehicle, one on the hood, as well as the 4x4 badging on the doors. I think they look really cool, very 80s vibe to them. And then there is a black decal on the tailgate with the Nissan wording actually etched out of it. So it looks really cool. I like the look of it. As I said, I've been getting lots of compliments, not only from enthusiasts and journalists, but just regular folk who think this is a cool looking truck. It might not be for everybody, but if you don't understand why this is a heritage vehicle, why it is a throwback, then yeah, you're not gonna get it, because with the black bumpers and stuff, kind of looks like an entry-level model, especially with the rims. I mean, it does look kind of weird, but it's cool if you know what it's about. But I think in general, people are going to like it no matter what. So let's hit the road now. We're going to talk about the fuel efficiency, as well as everything you need to know if you're in the market for the 2024 Nissan Frontier. All right, let's start off with the fuel economy, because we haven't done too many mid-size trucks, at least here. I know that James has done a couple of them already, but we're hoping to get a couple more. So as of right now, we completed our 100 kilometer test loop with the Frontier in 10.3 liters per 100 kilometers. Not too bad overall. I kept it in 2-wheel drive mode, and like there's no drive modes, you're just driving. There's tow haul mode, that's about it. So yeah, not terrible. But when you compare it to the Ford Ranger that we did, that had the 2.3 liter EcoBoost engine that completed it in a pretty good 8.9 liters per 100 kilometers. You get less power with that engine. It does have a little bit more torque, so something to consider. I'm going to have another version of the Ford Ranger coming up, so I'll be testing that, and then we'll try to get into the GM vehicles. Would like to be able to do the Tacoma as well. We did a first drive on that, but I haven't had a chance to actually book it full term, so we'll see. I'll try to get a couple more of those. But anyway, fuel economy isn't the strong suit for the Frontier, but overall the power is pretty good. I mean, 3.8 liter engine, it's a pretty big engine, especially in today's world. Everybody's downsizing, so something good to note. Now, one of the first things you're going to notice when you get into the Frontier and start driving it is the steering. At first I was like, oh boy, we don't have power steering, but it's hydraulic. Most, if not all, vehicles today use electronically assisted power steering. This is old school, so it really does require a little bit of muscle to be able to turn this truck. And I would imagine if I put it into 4 high, meaning the front wheels are also engaged as drive wheels, it might be even heavier, but yeah, it works out. So something to note, you know, especially if you're coming from a different type of pickup truck and you're looking at the Frontier for the first time and you take it out for a drive, you're going to notice that immediately. So don't be worried. It's just, you know, it's still using a hydraulic power steering system. Now, I do want to take a minute to talk about the interior and some of the features that you get on this vehicle. You know, it's not going to be the most technologically advanced, but some people like that. You know, we've seen with vehicles like the Chevrolet Colorado, GMC Canyon, everything's being replaced by big screens, and that's not necessarily a good thing. So we do have a smaller infotainment system. It's got wired Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which works fine. Just a basic audio system, no problems there. We do have heated front seats and a heated steering wheel. We also got USB-C and USB-A, which is good to have. And then a good tech feature to actually have on this is the adaptive cruise control. So that was very handy on my drive home. We've got the Pro Pilot Assist system as well. So we've got things like lane keep and blind spot monitoring. So we've got a lot of the safety tech that you would really want. You don't get LED lights though. This is just using regular halogen lights, and they are pretty bad at night. In fact, I did take it for a drive last night at night. It's like they're not on. So keep that in mind. You know, we talk about that quite a bit here on Test Drive. I'm a big supporter of good LED headlights. You're not getting on this, but that's fine. You know, it's expected for the price point. But the ride and handling is exactly what you would expect. You know, we've got a solid rear axle with leaf springs. You feel a little bit more of the bumps, that's fine. And because it is a pickup truck, as we usually discuss, if you're driving along unladen and you're trying to get off the line with two-wheel drive mode, you might find some issues there. I've hit a couple bumps. You know, there was a pretty big sort of mound I needed to get over where I was staying this past week for AJAC's TestFest, and every time I'd have to go over that, the rear wheels would skip, they would bounce because there's no weight on the back of the truck. So I would lose a little bit of traction there, but you know, that's pretty normal for any pickup truck. But for the most part, I mean, it's a functional truck. It's not spacious, it's not huge, it's very, you know, conservative when it comes to the interior design. And I think that's fine. I think that a lot of buyers have started to say no to these new vehicles that are just replacing everything with screens, removing all the buttons, making everything a subscription. That's a big key thing as well. Whereas this, yeah, it's a lot more analog. You've got all your controls that you need. You know, it's pretty straightforward. It's a very honest work truck if that's what you're looking for. If you need something to get the job done, or maybe you really just like the look of this because of the retro vibes on it, then you've got some options. Right, when you take a look at the other competition now, everybody's downsizing cylinders. They're adding all this crazy tech to take away from the fact that they're making the interiors just kind of cheap. So with this, yeah, it's rugged enough, gets the job done. It's not going to surprise you, but it really is a no frills work truck or, you know, daily driver vehicle. I think you're going to enjoy it. I'm quite surprised by it. In fact, I'm a lot more surprised by it because if you've been watching the channel for any period of time, you'll know that the Nissan Titan is one of my most hated vehicles, but I actually like this quite a bit. None of the issues that plagued that Titan that I drove are present on this, so it's very good. In fact, like the auto stop start system works well. I've got no issues with that, so overall it's been a very enjoyable week with it. Like maybe the price could have been just like a hair less just to make it a little bit more competitive, especially in the States. Again, I think that the US price is just a little high, but you know, for what it is, considering the other trucks in the segment are trying to get you all hooked with these technology screens and whatnot, I think that Nissan had an opportunity to come in a little bit less and then be able to attract some of those buyers who are looking to be a little bit more budget conscious, but also want something that is a little bit more traditional. So for me, the only thing that would prevent me from buying this are the poor quality headlights. And I get it, you throw LEDs on here with LED daytime running lights, it kind of takes away from the look because those didn't exist back in 1985. So I get it, but you know, with new technology today, there's ways to sort of emulate that look with LED technology. We just saw it actually with the Toyota Land Cruiser, the fog lights, you can switch between yellow and white. So could have been something maybe to consider. I know it's a little bit more money, but you know, have the LED daytime running lights that are actually amber or yellow, and then add in the LED headlights when you turn them on, because I'm telling you, it's really bad at night. But anyway, if you have any questions about this video, as always, we do try to get back to everybody quickly. We do get back to absolutely everybody though in the comments, so let us know what you think about this episode. If you have any questions about it or anything else, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already. We appreciate it. Like the video, share it online, and until next time, take care.